I think this sentence says it all. The pieces are coming together, and this is a quote from a recent article that just came out today from an analyst, Jason McCarthy here. The pieces are coming together for Bionano to reach a steeper growth trajectory. And why does he say this? Maybe because he's pulling the head from the arse. Slowly but surely, he's coming back into reality and seeing that we already know about 13 Sapphire sales. You heard that correctly. Actually, probably more than that. I don't even have all of them, and there's one of them that is a strategic partnership that's likely more. So 13 Sapphire sales that are essentially, in my opinion, almost all of these are confirmed to be in quarter two. There's a slight chance that they're not, but essentially we know about 13, which is more than any other quarter. So I want to go over some details there. Not all of them. I'm going to give you the hint there. We also have an institution not adding today, but we have a filing indicating that these guys now have 111,000 shares. Check the average price out, man. That's looking sweet and juicy as heck. I also want to go over the listing today, the Regional Business Manager Southeast, right? So this is a new listing posted 4 hours ago, and if you just look at the responsibilities here, it's sales, and I have an interesting theory as to what this could mean for the Texas sales, or not, well, the Southeast sales, along with the Texas sales as well. There's also another regional business manager in Texas, and I want to talk about what that could mean based on the China manager that actually just freaking locked in the Wickham's China Sapphire Strategic Partnership quote. Also, we have this amazing article, right? This is a beautiful article, actually, believe it or not. Besides some shit at the end there's a little bit of FUD going on at the end, but this is still, he says all the right things, but he doesn't get to the right conclusion, right? But we're going to go over that in detail. And the CPT proprietary laboratory analysis, the PLA codes, right? So the PLA codes, to my understanding, I'm not an expert on this, but they are a key, getting these things effective, they're a key to government reimbursables and insurance being able to cover Sapphire use in diagnostics or whatever it is, right? And we're not being used very much in diagnostics right now, but we actually technically can be in the right circumstances. So I want to go over when the effective date actually is. That's going to be one of the catalysts. Another catalyst is going to be a presentation today that was just announced, August 14th to 17th. That's going to be in Australia at the HGSA. Okay, we don't care what the freaking name is, right? It's another presentation. It's probably nothing, to be honest with you. Okay, between me and you, right? Usually these presentations are jack shit for the stock price, whatever. It's still fundamental value increases and more proof of concept, more academic praise. And these are the things that are going to make the revenue go boom. Simple as it gets. All right, now I also want to go over the Eric Holman. This thing, there's not much to go over here, right? But July 13th, this is another catalyst that we had to look forward to. And the short interest data, along with the price action and the consolidation that we have seen yesterday and today, almost the exact same pattern. I absolutely love it. I want to say why I think next week could be awesome just from a technical standpoint, purely technical standpoint, if high growth gives us a chance. The Wall Street consensus is 3.5 million for quarter two. Now, if we look at my projections, my bear case is that, which being 3.5 million. So just based on this, this document here that I have done, and some of this could be wrong, but just based on that kind of gives you an idea of what I'm thinking for earnings. I'm thinking there's a very low chance of getting lower than 3.5 million. I think there's a very low chance, and 3.5 million is the estimates. And that is primarily based on the fact that we have likely higher Sapphire sample volume and 13 installments that we already know about. So I'm not going to go over the details there, but I would just leave you with this. Quarter two earnings is something that you most likely want to risk holding through if you have done the research and agree with me in my little analysis here, right? Which is, I mean, it's pretty simple. I can link this in the pinned comment or something, and you can read this. It's very simple. Just go to the BNGO subreddit. Also, filing today, 13F filing today with State Street Corporation here, 808. That's their average price, and I do have premium Fintel. You are welcome, my friends. And if we go right here, you can actually see the effective date. So they added on March 31st. A little bit peculiar as to how they are filing this so many months late, after 45 days after the quarter of the transaction was done in, right? That's actually against the rules unless they had some special thing. But anyways, that doesn't really matter. What does matter is that they are holding, as of now, 111,000 shares at 808. And this one I'm not really too big on, but what I am big on is another recent one that these guys have a portfolio allocation of 4%, and they also have almost 3.5 million shares. So tens of millions of dollars. That's like what? Over $21 million right there, or 18 million, something like that. 4% of their portfolio is in BNGO, and although I don't really love the institutional ownership metric, it's still great to see that many people are holding millions of dollars and tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars in average prices that are just like us, right? Do you see that many institutions that have average prices of $1 and 40 cents? No, it's all $5, $6, $8. This should make you feel a little bit better maybe about holding, if you're holding the bag, or if you're like me and at like an average cost like $5.90 or $6 or whatever it is. Now, talking about the listing today, the regional business manager, right? Essentially, I see this as guaranteed and overt business expansion. And the reason why I say that is because you don't hire a ton of people. You don't hire a ton of regional business managers unless you're trying to increase sales. And the fact is, when we saw the marketing manager here, and this is actually going on right now, this is actually the product launch right here. The responsibility for product launches. But if you actually looked, and I believe I could be remembering this wrong, but to my understanding, there was a listing very similar to this, the China Business Manager, right before, not right before, but a couple weeks or maybe a month, maybe 2 months max, if I remember getting this correctly, before the Wickham Sapphire adoption, if you know that. And that was, if you don't know what that is, it's a strategic partnership, quote, of Sapphire sales. And that was about a week ago that we got that, week or two ago that we got that. Right before we got that announcement, there was one of these. There was one of these going on in China, a regional business manager for China, not a marketing manager, but a regional business manager for China, similar to that listing right there. So maybe this one for the Southeast and this one right here for the regional business manager for Texas, these were just posted. Maybe this is because they're trying to penetrate markets, the markets that are right here. And maybe it's because they think they have a lead, they think they have customers, they're ready. Let's get some salesmen out there and tell them more about how they actually do this, how easy it is to switch, the training and installation included, right? Rental program, right? And all the other various options that are that make it very auspicious for them to actually buy or rent a Sapphire. I think that's what we could see here. Nonetheless, even if I'm totally wrong on what I kind of just said there, it's still business expansion because you don't hire a ton of people if you're not expanding your business. Simple as it gets. So this article right here, this is about Jason McCarthy, the analyst that actually downgraded, idiot. I really think you're an idiot if you downgrade your price target after the earnings call that we got, the quarter 1 2021. He downgraded it off that because had reported a bit of an earnings miss. Now, I don't remember exactly if it was an earnings miss. I'm pretty sure it was an EPS match and a revenue beat. I know for a fact there was a revenue beat by a couple 100,000. So you can just tell this article sucks ass. Tip rank sucks. Okay, simple as it gets. But the rest of this article is actually not bad. Now, he's holding firm on his $10 price target, I guess. And it's saying, why not keep going? It's up 20% so far, right? Pragmatism in the markets that doesn't really work too well. Anyways, that's a little bit subtle. So what actually matters in here is basically, he points out, these are notable Sapphire users. These institutions and hospitals, these universities, they are notable Sapphire users, meaning these are freaking prestigious places, right? These hospitals, these universities, the Radboud University Medical Center, these are places that have a lot of influence, and a lot of places look to these guys for the new, advanced, up-to-date tech. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, chain reaction Sapphire sales, maybe they were likely to happen given that the Sapphire was used in so many institutions like these. Also, if you scroll down here, the pieces are coming together for Bionano to reach a steeper growth trajectory. The fact that he says this, and he doesn't upgrade his price target, it doesn't make sense to me because his price target is literally $10. Anyways, that's fine. Okay, for 12 months from now, it's fine. But he says it right here. He says the reason why the Sapphire is amazing, and he still doesn't understand what that's going to do for the price eventually. Provides a cost-effective and easy-to-use alternative with high resolution for comprehensive detection of chromosomal aberrations and structural variants. That's why the Sapphire is better partly. It's not just because we're cost-effective and easier to use. We're easier to use, we're more accurate, we're cheaper. Resolution's higher, throughput's higher, easier to use, less hands-on time. I think I said easier to use twice, but any single category you can look at, essentially, to my understanding, the Sapphire is better in anything in greater than 500 base pair detection in the world. Greater than 500 base pair detection in the world, okay? I hope that makes sense. So also, if you go down here, there's a couple other good points in here. He says we're seeing increased awareness of this on both the research side and on the investor side. And just because he says the research side, yes, it's great that we've been seeing a couple articles, but if that's true, it is true, right? Which we have been seeing more awareness of Bionano on the research side, more consumable revenue, more samples, because how are they going to be doing so much research unless they actually are using a Sapphire, okay? Because I'm not saying we're going to get a guaranteed revenue beat, but I'm just saying I think it's likely, in my opinion, but that's just me. I could be way off. And then they go on to say here, however, keeping Bionano unprofitable, the expenses are going to keep Bionano unprofitable through at least 2022, as if they know for sure what's going to happen, and probably quite a lot longer till that. Bionano investors will probably have to wait until at least 2025 before they see their first profit. And I disagree pretty much completely on this. If you look at pretty much any discounted cash flow model, most of the very conservative and bearish ones, most of them, pretty much all of them that I've seen at least, they're all projecting profitability in 2024. And many are projecting profitability in 2023, actually. So the fact that they're saying probably we're not going to make any profit until 2025 this is how you know these articles are just they don't know what they're doing. It's just not true. If we get a compounded growth rate of 60% of the sapphires, which is pretty conservative, that's just not true. We're going to be profitable way before 2025. So that's just my opinion, though. All right, so talking about the PLA codes, right? So if you just, it is very simple. If you you've already basically know all you need to know in this. All right, if you go down here. Okay, Bionano, the PLA codes right here. The effective day is October 1st. And once this happens, it is going to be it's going to be the first step in the right direction for getting government reimbursables and insurance covering Sapphire. And it's effective on October 1st. So maybe start of the fourth quarter, getting into that fourth quarter range, we're going to see way more sales because of this. Maybe, I don't know, but that's going to be a step towards getting stuff that would likely increase sales in a huge way. Also, this right here. So this is, this isn't huge. It's just a new presentation, August 14th to 17th. It's good news. It's increasing academic praise. It's nothing to get freaked out about. But this is something to get freaked out about because this is next freaking week, baby. And this is July 13th. The Bears, I don't know what you're doing if you're a bear, if you're holding overnight and holding next week, Bionano, your short position. Because all it takes is him to say something about the nanonauts or something about their sapphire sale progress and accidentally let out his optimism, which he has done in the past for this year, which he always does, really, at least to some degree, and we're gone, essentially. And now, are we gone at 100% to the moon? I don't know about that. It would take something insane for that, right? I'm not projecting that by any means, but I think this could act as a serious catalyst, or he could say nothing new, and it could just be a straight, boring company overview. Or he gives a company overview with some of the future stuff, which could still be a company overview, right? A section in the company overview could easily be the future, and all he has to do is say, give us some numbers or give us something. That's all he has to do. So short interest of the day down about 4%. You're still looking at 22% of the flow, essentially. 61 million shares sold short, not yet covered. Way more returning of shares than borrowing for short positions there on the day. So maybe there's two ways to look at this, right? One, you could say it's bullish because less shorts are betting it's going to go down, or you'd say it's bearish because the short squeeze potential goes down. Honestly, it doesn't really matter as long as the short interest is up above 15%. Even if it's around 15%, you still have a short squeeze potential at any time, technically speaking. But you need a big catalyst or something huge that happens to start to instigate that, with the price action going up. Actually, so talking about the technical analysis, though, I love the fact that our chart pattern today is the exact same as yesterday. Right? You can see here we made a big move. That was our spike, right? All the way from 584 up to 650, 670. We consolidated. And then we did the same thing today. We did the exact same thing today, essentially, right? We had our big move, and then we consolidated the rest of the day. And then after hours, after hours is insanity, but, manipulation. Manipulation, baby. Anyways, okay, I don't know for sure, but that's just what I'm thinking. This is not natural price action. And barcoding, okay, come on. If manipulation isn't obvious to you, I feel like it's pretty obvious sometimes. But anyways, the price action I like by and large, right? If we look at the stochastic indicator on the daily, we're still we're in bullish territory. We're complete. I mean, it looks absolutely perfect. Also, if you look at the Bollinger Bands, I said this before, I'm going to say it again because this is the most important thing. Every single time that you have a situation where you actually touch the outside Bollinger Band, every single time you will correct to the 21 SMA at some point. It's just a matter of time. And currently the 21 SMA is at like 725. And that would be like, what, 5%, 10% of green for us? Something like that, right? If we just look in the past here, we touched the Bollinger Band twice in the past. Once right there, and we bounced up right away almost touched it. And we eventually did right here. And we almost touched it again right there. Almost touched it right there. Almost touched it right there. And the congruence, the common denominator here is that every single time you touch it, you bounce up in a huge way. And we're seeing that right now. And, we're seeing that. That's beautiful. It's beauty. I mean, that's as simple as it gets, right? So as far as other technical analysis indicators, we're going to go over that in the rest of the weekend, most likely. And with that being said, I will show you the portfolio here. That's it completely. Feel free to use the description for the must-know BNGO information playlist. Full due diligence, 2 hours, full 112 page due diligence, or 115 pages now. Please look at the description, look at the must-know BNGO information playlist, especially if you're new here, and understand the company, understand why this is literally 100% of the portfolio. You heard that correctly. There's the entire portfolio history. There's the entire positions. With that being said, thank you so much. It's not financial advice. I will see y'all in the next one.